Hello amigos, ¿cómo están? My name is Dan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking all about Chivas because it's finally official. Oscar Garcia, the Spanish coach, has now been confirmed as Chivas' new head coach. Obviously replacing Gago, who left a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago now. And I've got mixed feelings about this appointment, obviously, so I'll just go straight into it, obviously. I feel like, obviously, he's older than Paunovic, let alone Gago, and he's got way more experience than, I would say, Paunovic and Gago, which is good. My first thought was, cool, we've actually got an actual experienced coach now for the first time in a little while. Paunovic had a somewhat experienced career, but it was limited. And Garcia's career is limited as well. To be fair, we'll get into that in a second. But compared to Gargo, it's night and day, really. He's like 20 years older than Gargo, and he's got way more experience as a manager as well. So I think in that respect, it's good. His experience in detail is a little bit mixed in terms of his coaching career. Obviously, he won the league in Israel. I've kind of looked him up a little bit actually. He won a loan because for me, Garcia follows a trend of like Chivas getting coaches that I have no idea existed or really had limited knowledge of before we signed him as coach. And obviously, Paunovic, no one really knew about Paunovic before we signed him. Again, Gargo, a little bit more. Obviously, he had a little bit more of a distinguished playing career, but still, it's relative unknown, I guess. It's fair to say that. And Garcia follows that trend. I mean, like I said, his career has been more experienced than both of the other two coaches, but it's been varied and not all of it successful. It doesn't seem to have been anywhere really for much longer than a couple of years before either leaving or being sacked. He won the league in Israel, like I said. He's also been in RB Salzburg. He's been in Austria as well, and a couple of stints actually in English division as well. I think the Championship for Brighton and Watford as well. Watford, you can't really tell with Watford. Apparently he got ill and he had to leave relatively early on in his Watford career, so you don't really know what could have been with Watford, but I think he did relatively alright with Brighton, replacing Gus Poyet when they were still in the Championship. And Brighton are no mugs. Brighton do well in terms of their managing career. I mean, maybe not back then, but still now. So you kind of had a little bit of hope that if they signed him, then there's obviously something about him that is good. Yeah, it's been quite all over the place, to be honest with you. I think his last club was in Belgium. He got sacked in, so he has been sacked a couple of times in his career. You know, he's been joining relegation level teams, to be honest with you, in Europe, and maybe he sees a chance at Chivas to kind of really gain some more experience, gain some chance to get some silverware. You'd think that Liga MX is a little bit better than the likes of the Israeli national in the Israeli league or even maybe Austrian league as well. But even the Belgian league as well in that way. But I'll be hesitant to say that Liga MX is not better than is better than Championship in England. I think Championship is a really tough league, and for him to get experience there is invaluable. I think, and also maybe the Spanish second division as well. Maybe some second division Spanish teams could do relatively well in Liga MX. But what I'm saying is that I don't think he's taking this job as a step down, as an easier league, in a way for him to kind of rebuild his managerial career in a sense. I think he's looking at this job thinking that it's going to be a difficult one. And if he doesn't know what Chivas is like and how Chivas are represented in media and the expectations from the fans and from media, then he's going to be in for a rude awakening. I'm hoping he's done his research in that account because Liga MX is not a step down from most of the European leagues that he's played in. And Chivas is not a step down in terms of difficulty, in terms of complexity, in terms of media scrutiny, expectations, like I said, from the fans. So yeah, hopefully he's taking that kind of mindset, and he's not seeing it as a bit of a step down, and try and win a league and an easier league kind of thing. I don't know whether Hierro's spoken to him. You'd think so because they're both Spanish. I don't know if Hero had any input in this appointment at all, but you'd like to think that maybe they've at least had a couple of informal conversations about Chivas, and Heroes kind of put forward the idea that Chivas are a huge team in world football and need to be respected, and the job needs to be respected, and it's difficult at the moment. Chivas are in a bit of a difficult moment for a while now, and yeah, like I said, I hope that he's not thinking of it as an easy job. Now, what I said earlier about him not being in a job for very long, I think a couple of years really is the average for his managerial career. That you can still win a decent amount of trophies in 2 years in Mexican football. The best thing about Mexican football is obviously the league is split. So if he's at the club for 2 years, that's four different league titles he can fight for, let alone the domestic cups and all the other cups that are available to the Mexican teams. Um, so yeah, like I said, he's more experienced. Hopefully, I mean Gargo. You never really got the sense with Gargo that he knew what his best 11 was. Players like Pocho were completely lost with him. He didn't seem to know how to handle them. He does have experience with young players as well, which is vital. This transfer window, this January, is going to be massively important for Chivas, in my opinion. Not only do we have to rebuild our Liga credentials, we need to get back to Liga as soon as possible. Um, but we are in a generational change now. There are players in the squad that need to leave. And all the rumours right now is all of our best players being linked elsewhere. Piojo, in particular. Like, you don't want to see that. You want to see players like Pavel go. Cisneros go as well. Pollo Briseño as well. Like, I've gone on and on about players that I think should leave. Um, we need to start flashing out some long term players that are not good enough now, that have proved that they're not good enough for a step up in Chivas. Not They're not good enough to win us the league, and they're not even good enough to get us to the Liga at this point. So um, we need to get rid of some players, and then we need to bring some players in from Tapatio. There's a 5 or 6 that I mentioned in the previous video. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. Beginning with Wilker, I mean, he absolutely needs to be in the first team next season, as well as Garcia, the goalkeeper. He needs to be involved as well. So this is just the first step for me. It's a good appointment. It's as good as we're going to get, I think. I didn't want another Liga Makers coach. Some people talking about Miguel Herrera. Nah, I'm alright with that, thanks. And his Spanish as well, his experience alone, especially as a player at Barcelona, that's invaluable. And that's something that can only elevate Chivas. So, yeah, good first step. Good first thing that we did in the off season. Now I'm waiting to see who we get rid of now in terms of playing staff, and yeah, I want to see announcements that Wilker's going to be promoted to the first team now. That he's not going to be a top tier player anymore. Dragon as well. I want him to be in the first team. I hope Wally moves and gives space for Dragon to play. We're going to have extra games this season as well, so Dragon's more than likely going to get game time. Even though Talarangel is blatantly going to be our number one. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the league, if not the best. Some people say Malagon. I don't think so. So yeah, good first step. Good first appointment. I quite like this appointment, to be honest with you. We took a chance on Gargo and it didn't work. In fact, it failed quite horrifically. But this is more of a measured approach. I think it doesn't feel like a panic buy. It doesn't feel like we've not done our research. So hopefully, Oscar Garcia can come in relatively quickly, realise who his best players are, realise who the players that are not good enough are, and I hope that he's studied up on Tapatio as well, because that is a gold mine. We really do have a really good youth setup, and it's about time that we incorporate some of these Tapatio champions into the first team, because they deserve nothing less. So yeah, like I said, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, his managerial career, like I said, to sum it up, is mixed and it's not all good. It's a little bit negative, to be honest with you, if you take it all into account. But at the same time, he's got the experience. He's an established, European coach, and he can come in, spend a couple of years getting us back to the year, getting us back to a league title, and then leaves in a couple of years. And I'll be okay with that. I'm sure a lot of Chivas fans will be as well. We'll have to wait and see. You don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, he just establishes his best players as soon as possible, and we can get back to normality, because we've got used to being Ligia again, and even challenging for the title as well. So hopefully we can get back to that as soon as possible. So yeah, let me know what you think about Oscar Garcia. Let me know what you think about the players. Do you think there's some players that need to leave, or and also signings? I haven't mentioned signings because I don't really want to get my hopes up too much. I feel like at the moment we've got to sort out the players that are not good enough at the club right now, move them on, and then bring in the Tapatio players in. And then if we sign a couple of players beyond that, cool. If we don't, then as long as we bring the Tapatio players in. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think about all of the things that we just talked about in this video, especially Oscar Garcia. And did you know about him before this, by the way? If you did, let me know how. And if you're a Barcelona fan, maybe you knew him that way. Yeah, so welcome to the club, Oscar Garcia. I really hope you do well. I hope you take this club to the level it needs to be at. And yeah, look forward to the first game in charge with him in charge. So yeah, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon. Adios.